Hi everyone, I'm Frankie. I'm the founder of Cyberwear NFT. Today we have Rohan from Space Runners, and we're delighted to have him. Rohan is a multidisciplinary designer experienced in luxury fashion and sportswear. Welcome, Rohan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
what have I
I'm
missed? Please do introduce yourself in a more colorful way.
no, you totally got my background here. So I work for Space Runners. So we are a fashion metaverse brand. So we have created a fashion metaverse where you can have an immersive experience of socializing, shopping, interacting with friends, playing games, and also being able to create your own assets, your own fashion, and be able to upgrade them and do whatever with them, and be able to actually earn revenue out of it as well. So it's a whole ecosystem that we are trying to create.
Great.
Yeah,
So Claudia has some questions about Space
yeah,
Runners.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to add here was also, so we have two sides to Space Runners. So one is the metaverse side, and Space Runners also exists as its own fashion brand. So we create our own fashion NFTs, and we started with sneakers, and now we are kind of diving more into actually creating whole ensembles, so your whole clothing and everything, headgear, everything.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask you more about how does it work, Space Runner. So there are these two parts. If you wanna explain us better, yeah, would be nice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So we started off with our first collection, which was an NBA collection, which was in collaboration with Nick Young and Kyle Kuzma, who are two NBA basketball stars. And so the company started from there, and we developed our first NFT collection. And the NFT collection was a the NFT collection was a major hit. So we were sold out in 9 minutes, and that became, the starting point. And then, as a project, as an NFT project became really successful, we decided to, dwell into the arena of creating our own metaverse and creating a fashion experience, which till this day doesn't really exist. So we've been working very, very hard since the last 1 year, and we have a very amazing team of concept artists, fashion designers, automobile designers. We got like game designers. We've got like so many different sets of people from such diverse backgrounds kind of working on this one single aim of creating this immersive experience where you can not only shop, but you can shop NFTs or digital items, but you can also a place where you can socially connect with friends, get what's happening in the in the fashion arena, like understand, is basically taking the Web2 experience into a Web3 experience. So it's more immersive, it's more it basically takes you from a a web page experience, like how you would experience, like logging into your Facebook or your Instagram, right? And everything is like 2D to a more immersive 3D experience where you're kind of getting the same inputs, but in a more immersive way. So that is the the beauty about it. So we've been working on that, and along with that, we are also creating our own fashion NFTs. So we started off, like I said, with the NBA collection, which was more cartoony, or I would say more like claymation, the aesthetics. And then as we developed our metaverse, which was more, more, I would say, like it's more realistic. It's more, more refined in terms of the graphics. So we kind of change our tone of the collections that we create. So the new collection that we are going to launch soon is the Nebula collection, which is the second collection, and it's kind of inspired by science fiction. And everything, it's again a collection of sneakers. And this time we kind of like upped our game, where the sneakers have like these capabilities and these utilities. For example, with these sneakers, you can fly in our metaverse, you can levitate, where there's no gravity. you can walk over water. So stuff like this you won't be able to do in real life. You can do via these, these crazy NFTs, sneakers. So that's where we're heading. Along with that, we are working on multiple different collaborations with different fashion brands and different organizations to actually bring the metaverse and the virtual experience to a bigger audience.
Nice. So just a follow-up question on that. You explained quite well your initial launches of different digital fashion, but could you delve into what digital fashion is, specifically in Space Runners? So you've got NFTs, I saw augmented reality, talked about digital, if that's like a bundle of those different types, and then is all of the digital fashion within Space Runners under the Space Runners brand, or collaborations with different brands, or is there also the ability for creators to kind of come in, create their digital fashion, sell it in Space Runners, or how does that work?
Actually, it's all of it. So let me start with the first thing. So definitely the whole intention behind Space Runners is to serve the community, right? Is to serve the community of creators who are interested in creating fashion, who are interested in not only enjoying fashion, right? This is the first time that the technology has enabled ownership, right? So you just don't own a skin. You have the ability to, sell it forward, make revenue out of it. You have the ability to upgrade these NFTs. So Space Runners NFTs, how we're building it right now, you have the ability to customize it. You have the ability to add features to it, like new traits to it, which basically makes it more exciting. And it's almost like co-creation. So we kind of giving the tools to our NFT holders to have fun, and to be able to use their own creativity to create something which is absolutely bespoke and very unique to them, which also creates a emotional connection, which right now doesn't exist with NFTs, because as yet NFTs are more like an investment thing or like a personal expression thing. But I think the moment you kind of allow co-creation, it kind of brings in the holder, the owner's own perspective on things, which I think is something really unique, and is something that we are all like really striving towards, is to create that emotional connect with our audience. And so that's one thing. So co-creation is really important. The other part is we are also, at the moment collaborating with various different brands, which I cannot disclose at the moment, just because of NDAs that we have signed, and stuff is in the works right now. But there's some exciting stuff coming up at the end of the year. We'll be announcing, so stay tuned. There's some really exciting stuff coming up, and so yeah, we're kind of collaborating with these different luxury brands, different sportswear, streetwear brands to kind of help them create their own NFTs and bring them into our metaverse, and for the first time give the audience of these brands, these loyal customers, to actually experience the brand in a more immersive way. So, and as we create their NFTs, there are so many utilities that are attached to the NFT. So it's not only about buying a JPEG, so you are just not buying that, you're actually buying an immersive experience which you can use it on your avatar. Then you also get so many different utilities, like almost like a loyalty membership program, like invites to fashion shows, different events, and depending on the brand, we kind of create a very curated list of utilities that come with every NFT. And once you're a holder of these NFTs, you are often airdropped like rewards and gifts. That is, as long as you hold it, you will keep getting rewarded every now and then. So that's the plus point of owning these utilities. And as I spoke about, and you just mentioned about digital products, I think that's something that is the future of digital fashion. So it's basically creating a seamless world between what is physical and what is real. So when you buy an NFT, there are often, now that we're working towards, is that you just not hold a digital item, but that digital item, you can actually either exchange it for a physical item, so you can get the same sneaker by exchanging your NFTs, or sometimes the utility is built into the NFT itself and into the cost itself, that you just don't have the loyalty and membership program with the NFT, but you have the ability to purchase a digital sneaker and still retain the NFT at the same time. So it's there's so many ways of approaching this, and depending on the brand how they want to approach it, we kind of fine tune it to their requirements. So that's feature two. And the metaverse experience is also very unique to every brand, what they want to create. So we're creating a bespoke, almost like a store experience. But because this is in the, in the metaverse world where there's no physics, there's no laws of what can be constructed, the imagination is your only barrier. So, as our stores are concerned, they are super whimsical. They defy every law of physics, so that we have a very interesting experience for our users when they come in, and are able to it's kind of interesting. I want to pull a reference here from Surrealism. Surrealism kind of is an art movement that was started, like, by Dali and some really famous artists. And the thing about Surrealism is that it kind of creates an abstract space, right? It's a space of ambiguity, and that space is where you can actually have self-discovery. So it is just not about self-expression, it's about self-discovery, because a lot of people will be finding their new identities in the space, which they often cannot portray in real life. So it's this safe space where you can truly express yourself, truly, without any social constructs, be able to truly express yourself in the true form. So that is the beauty about this. And you can have multiple identities till you explore more identities, of how you want to express yourself. So that's the cool part about it. And what else? So yeah, I hope I kind of tried to cover most of the points here.
Yeah, super interesting. Claudia, did you have any questions?
Okay, I think we covered also the like speaking about the brands, how Space Runner like works with other brands. So maybe I will ask you about AI. What is your vision? Do you think that could help or not?
Oh, AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, AI is scary. Yeah, I find it scary because there are two ways to look at it. I mean, what is it? One thing is that AI is a great tool to brainstorm. I feel it's a fantastic tool to ideate, because it can generate so many new ideas, and give it a visual reference, which often might have taken a graphic designer or any artist few days of work before they can create that thing. So the fact that it's so fast and it's so instant is almost so crazy. And so I almost see it as a way of a great brainstorming tool. But at the same time, there's a question about, is AI basically stealing everyone's work, and then, kind of basically taking all the work that has been done by so many different artists, so many different creators, and basically making a hodgepodge of it, and creating something without giving any kind of, um, you know, appreciation or to the people who actually created the initial art. So there's a lot of debate around how AI is it really good or is it really bad? It's kind of debatable, and I feel like we have to make sure that as it goes in the future, it's kind of developed in certain way that it doesn't take over the creative process. Rather, it helps foster a bigger, help us to actually increase our limits of imagination tend to basically overtake us. So I think that's where the responsibilities and the ethics of AI come in. So it's a early stage of development, and I feel like as we speculate the future, we have to speculate in a way that it is moving towards something which is more positive, something more considered, and something more skillful.
Great. And just to finish off, could you tell us a little bit about your former experience working with some really big brands like Nike and Ralph Lauren, and maybe what you see as your vision for some of these big fashion brands, how they can evolve, work with space runners, work with other metaverses, work in the context of AI generative tools, and how they should sort of move forward in this new landscape?
Yeah, definitely. So, just like everyone else, no one is a Web3 native. Everybody comes from the Web2 world at some stage, right? And same for me as well. Like I work for some iconic brands like Nike and Ralph Lauren. And all these brands are very future forward, and they are they see the potential of growth here. Just looking at the stats that have been like based on the surveys and the research that has been done, in the next 5 years, they're saying the metaverse business is going to be, approximately around $5 trillion, which is the GDP of Japan, the third largest, GDP of in the world, right? So if you think about it in that perspective, we are definitely moving towards a digital experience. Fashion, especially, has been the forefront runner of actually adopting this technology than any other area right now, and it's because why not? I mean, it is a great way for these brands to generate more revenue, right? And also to actually think about in a sustainability context. Fashion is a very, very evil industry when it comes to climate change and the effects it has on the planet, just because of the waste it creates, just because of the amount of plastic that is used in polyesters and nylon fabrics. And just because, even if it's cotton, the demand for cotton has a great impact on the forested land. To create more cotton, we need to get rid of more forests, which adversely affects our planet. So all those things, as our population increases, and which has just hit 8 billion this month, our demand from the planet has tremendously increased in terms of resources. And if the demand for fashion stays at the stage it is just going to be catastrophic for our ecosystem, because it just cannot sustain. So if a part of our consumption of fashion can shift from 20 to 30% even to a digital fashion, the amount of carbon footprint that we can actually bring down is tremendous. So if you think about it in a sustainability perspective as well, it is massive. And then the question comes in, hey, but what about the energy consumption of crypto and blockchain, and how do you counter that? My argument to that is like, in the last 15-20 years, right, fashion has known like the effect that has been causing on the planet. Actually, we've known that for a very long time, but no one has taken any action. But now brands are starting to create more sustainable textiles, fabrics, ways of producing, manufacturing. But it's still, they haven't done enough. It's still a very, very, we're not even close to carbon neutrality or like reducing our impact on the planet. So in that perspective, if you see the innovation that has happened in the blockchain technology, it is tremendous, right? In only a matter of few years, two to 3 years, the blockchain technology, moving from proof of stake, it basically tremendously reduced the consumption of energy. And as we move into the future, in the next few years, this technology, at the rate is going is going to be far more sustainable than anything on the planet. So if you think about it in that way, a single piece of t-shirt, right, to a digital t-shirt right now, there's a difference of 96%. So a physical t-shirt has 97% more carbon footprint than a digital one, even at this stage right now. So, as technology progresses, there's going to be even larger, the gap. So in that perspective, we do need to shift. It is not, just a whim or just a fantasy of having, it is almost a requirement. It is almost like a necessity. And I think that is why there is such a big momentum that has come into the digital fashion as well, and a lot of brands are trying to shift towards that, and it's a win-win situation because you can still earn great amount of revenue without actually creating physical product, which is great for the planet and great for the brands as well.
Great. I also saw on your profile that you've been working in even more sort of sustainability projects with Project Endangered, which you're the founder of. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about that? And
yes, yeah, that's the very close subject to my heart. And I spent almost like 3 to 4 years working on that project, and that project was actually something really personal, and I wanted to do it. So this is while I was working at Nike, I just decided that I'm gonna quit and work on saving endangered wildlife, because I've been, as I got more informed about what's happening in the world, and especially with the endangered species, as our demand for everything in the world increases, there is so much pressure on the habitat where these all these animals live, and just not animals, like plants, the whole ecosystem, right? It is under a lot of pressure right now, and we have lost so many species in the last 50 years than we have lost in like centuries, right? So there has been a massive decline in all these species, and I just felt like as a creator, I had a responsibility to make even a small effect if I can, or even if I can inspire someone else, that's enough, right? So I kind of set on this journey of raising awareness around this. So I chose 5 keystone species that are endangered in the world: the tiger, mountain gorilla, rhino, antelopes, and Asian elephant. Actually, Asian African elephants, they both are endangered. So these are like very iconic species that everyone knows in the world. They've been part of our storybooks. They've been part of movies. They're part of our culture. And seeing these species, at the rate at which we are going, we're going to lose all our elephants in the next 15 to 20 years, which is really sad, because without them, the whole ecosystem basically is destroyed. So the biodiversity is as important as anything else. So I created these series of jackets, and the reason I tell you why I created these jackets, because a lot of these species have been for centuries hunted and poached, right? For example, elephants for ivory, tiger for the tiger pelt, or like different ancient Chinese medicines, or rhino for their horn for creating ancient Chinese medicine. And then antelopes for saiga antelopes for their meat, for their horns, and so on and so on, and even like the gorillas, and I could just go on. The list is endless. There are like 1 million species right now that are endangered, including the flora and fauna. So my main objective was to kind of create these hunting jackets. So these hunting jackets were an archetype of how you would imagine a hunting jacket, and the hunting jacket, via these zips and buttons and origami, would transform into a hunted animal trophy. So the jacket would change into a rhino, for instance, and it would be a full-size sculpture of a rhino trophy that you would see in a hunter's house or somewhere, right? So the idea was the hunter becomes a hunted. So the clothing was a metaphor of your second skin, a representation of yourself. So when you see a part of you which is so personal, like your jacket, being transformed into a trophy. You're almost seeing yourself being represented, your second skin as something dead on the wall, as a decorative accessory. So that was an art perspective to it. And currently, even at Space Runners, we've been trying to push to work on sustainable goals and like projects that can bring a real change, and using the metaverse to actually make a betterverse, to actually have a real impact from the digital world onto the real world. So we have some really cool ideas that we'll be dropping soon, where people will be able to be part of these rescue missions, be part of this gamified experience of actually not only enjoying fashion, but be able to use fashion to make a real impact on in the real world and help save biodiversity. So all exciting stuff coming up, hopefully next year. So yeah, big intention is to inform, reform, and then transform. So inform is really important because people are not aware. Reform is really important because we can actually generate some revenue to help organizations do real work that will help preserve them. And transform is the idea to inspire the younger generation to do the same, inspire the industry to take similar steps. So that is our way forward into the future.
Okay, thank you so much, Ron. It was really interesting. We learned a lot today. So
thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I hope to see you soon and know more about all the developments. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.